Short for fanatic is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-0 degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.
What's going on, sports fans? It's Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. Man, listen, great sports weekend, great sports week we're coming off of. We were supposed to have a big guest, a big interview today, but we'll just settle for big. We got Mr. Brad Tate, Cutman Tate in the building. Tate, how you doing today, bro?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me again.
Well, first off, you gotta, listen. We just had all the energy. You got to bring the energy back where it just was. You don't have to behave. You said in your text you was gonna behave. You don't have to behave in here.
I mean, it'll eventually seep out, but I'm just saying.
It'll seep out.
It eventually, me being me will happen, but no, I'm happy. I mean, I'm here. I'm here. I just don't want to get you canceled. I don't want to get you in trouble. I mean, I want you to go viral for the right reasons, not the reasons that I was specifically talking about earlier. I want this to be a friendly podcast that respectable, and you can kind of take some of the things you hear on here and quote them.
And do something with life.
And quote them.
Yeah.
I just want you to be able to American Fan, they said this and it's got to be real. Some people don't fact check. So
yeah, no, listen. We try to, it'll be opinions from time to time, but we try to at least base our opinions in reality.
All my stuff is my opinion, just so you know. Just my opinion only.
It's your opinion.
Don't at me. Don't try to argue with me, because I'm usually going to curse you out. But just saying, it's my opinion, how I feel.
That's usually the way it's going, right?
Does not mean that I'm accurate. Doesn't mean I even have the facts. Just my opinion. So, and I'm very opinionated.
There it is. Big George, how you doing in the back?
I'm electric this morning. I'm a little mad that we're taking the curve away from the ladies being on the show. I like the idea of having the girls back in here, Tay. I mean, we got to make this happen.
I just want Josh's thing to blow up. I feel like he's working so hard to do things the right way, and I don't ever want to tell people not to do things the right way, but we need some women in here to
we need some twerking, you said?
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, we just need something else in here to spark interest.
Yeah.
Maybe change the name.
I'm not. Listen.
I'm just saying,
listen.
Sports. Look, sports and hoes.
Sports and hoes.
You know what I'm saying? Forgive me.
Not both of those, but sports and hoes.
Because who don't like sports and hoes? It's American.
I love that.
There's nothing more American than sports and hoes. Hoes like sports now too.
or they like what sports can bring.
I'm just telling you.
What's the word on the street? That's the word on the street.
If we build it, they will come.
That is true.
Oh, my God. Well,
they ain't getting BBLs for nothing. You know what I'm saying? They ain't financing these bodies for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
They're playing the comeback is what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't financing them for nothing.
Oh,
so
my God.
They know what's up. God, I wish I could be a woman. I would show y'all a thing or two.
Listen. I think any of us, if you put a dude in a woman's body for real, we would all become Kim Kardashian.
Listen,
straight up.
I wouldn't even be Kim Kardashian. I would look like Precious and still be out here turning them up. I'm just telling you, bro. Hey, Lizzo had a man on the Vikings. I could do something. You know what I'm saying? I could do a couple things. I'm just letting y'all know. You don't have to be cute these days. You don't have to.
You don't have to be cute.
You just got to be willing. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be willing. Let me stop. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm not trying to disrespect y'all. So, keep doing what y'all doing, getting educations and being upset.
I will say one thing about
hoes is winning though.
They are. I will say one thing before we get off of this, as far as body shaming. You shouldn't body shame anybody, but at the same time, there's a time and a place for certain things. Like when you bring up Lizzo will be doing certain things. I'm like, bro, that's not for your body. That's not me saying you're fat or whatever. It's like, I don't want to look at that. It is what it is. Now, somebody might, but popular society usually doesn't.
Listen, I know I'm a little
Husky.
on the plus side.
I went Husky. I said Husky.
I have maybe had a few people say that I'm big, but I don't give a fuck. I know I'm sexy. I know I'm good. Listen, I don't know what y'all see when y'all look at me in the mirror, but I know when I see in the mirror looking back, oh, Lord. I love me. Some me.
Oh, my God. All right, let's take it around the world in sports, George. First up, Shohei Ohtani signs a massive record $700 million deal.
He better not fucking strike out ever.
Literally, bro.
Hey, if he watch a ball go by,
boo,
boy, he get an error. Oh my God, I'm pissed. And I was watching Sports Center, and they was talking about like the beers in Dodger Stadium is like 30% more than anywhere else.
Yeah,
man. And then they was talking about the taxes. They were saying that he's only taking 38 million home.
That's right, 70 million, and then drop all the way down to 38. No, man, I can't remember. I wasn't talking to George about this. I was talking to somebody else, but like literally go to Florida. Like I couldn't allow myself to leave that much money on the table ever. That's crazy.
That's Josh's opinion. You could pay me anything you want. That kind of money, I'd be anywhere.
But if you watched more than half your money walk out the door.
Don't give a fuck, millionaire.
Dang.
Got money.
Dang.
I'm sorry because like we can sit here in this beautiful setup and we can talk that shit, but I'm not a millionaire now.
No, that's fair.
And they're making me a millionaire and they're paying me $70 million. They're going to take majority of it, but I'm still a millionaire. I'm not going to be upset about it.
Looking pretty
I'm not
good.
going to be upset long, dare I say. I might get upset every time I see my check and be like, what the but
FICA is lighting me up.
But I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay.
You'll figure it out.
I'm going to be okay.
George has the actual projected starting lineup for the new look Dodgers. We got Mookie Betts leading off MVP, Shohei Ohtani DH second MVP, Freddie Freeman 40 home run hitter, Will Smith. We got the Fresh Prince behind the plate.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, is he's only DHing?
Yeah.
For $700 million?
Oh,
well,
dog.
remember,
crazy.
he's a pitcher too, though. Remember,
But they saying his injury from the elbow.
he won't pitch this year. He won't pitch this year because he's still recovering. But remember, he already torn that joint and hit 40 home runs with a blown ligament. Like he's different. I will say he is different.
He ain't that different.
Well, look, I put it this way: only him and Babe Ruth have done what he's done. That's his company. That's crazy. When you look at it that way, it starts to shift the conversation. And also, too, you got to think, too, being in L.A., the Dodgers had Hideo Nomo. They've had some Japanese players before. That opens up that whole market. You know what I mean? That opens up the Asian market to them. They already have a big Asian fan base. They're going to make that money back.
I mean, somebody knew what they were doing. I just can't imagine we're in a state now where I remember Emmitt Smith holding out because he wanted $4 million a year.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, it's like, it's getting ridiculous. Like,
yeah.
I mean, now we're just speaking numbers. And again, I'm just my opinion, but I mean, hell, a carton of eggs is $10 now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like at some point, like $700 million ain't really $700 million. Like if we take it back like where it used to be, it was like, ooh, now it's like the number's crazy, but like we're eventually going to start reaching billions, you know?
Yeah.
People, and it's like, really, I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, he's making $700 million, which, yeah, that's a lot of money, but cost of living. I mean, we've already factored in he's going to lose over half
40,
of it.
40 plus of it.
He lives in L.A.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, I mean, so it's insane that you got to almost pay a guy that kind of money just to even keep him in an arena. You know, it's just, to me, and it's just the numbers just keep growing.
Yeah.
So the next big thing is going to, like Mike Trout got, what, $400 million?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when A-Rod got $200 million.
And that was like crazy.
Yeah, eventually, like now it's like, no wonder my fucking cable bill is $300 a month. Like, you know what I'm saying? This shit is ridiculous.
It's trickling. It's bleeding out. It's bleeding out. George,
Like,
what do you think? What do you think?
I thought he was going to get $1 billion, dude.
Yeah, he was. That was the conversation, right?
I predicted it, but this was before he got injured. But I was like, he's worth $500 million in each position. Like, you fucking work his ass. But now he's got it made, dude. Like, he is he is the richest man in sports now?
No.
With his contract? Just probably one of the soccer players that, like,
no, because
surpassed
remember, Mbappe never daggone signed that deal to go over to Saudi or wherever it was, where they were like, we pay you $1 billion.
I thought it would be something like golf or something, like maybe a Tiger Woods or something like that.
Well, no, for salary.
Yeah.
Tiger's the richest athlete.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
in terms of salary.
I thought Floyd or Connor or something like that.
No. Tiger, Jordan obviously is the richest. Then I think it's Junior Bridgman, actually, who owns all the different Wendy's. He owns like a couple hundred Wendy's.
I'm ready to start seeing him in some commercials, though. Let's see what his acting skills are like. Because, like, once a player in Los Angeles is making this much money, like, he's going to have a fucking movie made about him. Like, it's going to happen. So we'll see. Like, does he do Space Jam baseball version? Possibly? Yeah, tie in the
Is baseball
but
even
anime.
that important? I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to be
No,
that
that's
guy.
not disrespect.
Like,
it's not disrespectful.
I can never hear people, like, I never hear people on Monday talking about, man, that was a great baseball game. Like, you don't hear people talking about baseball.
And we've talked about it on this show. Baseball doesn't have stars. They don't have stars that are transcendent anymore. He's about him, Bryce Harper. They have a few, but in terms of, like, you remember in the 90s, we knew everybody.
Yeah, Barry Bonds. Like, that's what I'm saying. Barry Bonds, but, like, I know the kid in Aaron Judge in New York. I know about Mookie.
Yep.
I know about this guy. Like, I don't
name 3 pitchers right now,
dude.
But do you see what I'm saying? We knew all of them.
And that's the crazy thing. I'm like, how can baseball afford to even pay somebody?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, look, my only thing was outside of the Dodgers, because when they were talking about him going to, remember, it was originally reported, George, that he was going to the Blue Jays, and I was like, the Blue Jays can't afford him.
Right.
Like they don't pack their house ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for him to go there for $600 million is like, bro, y'all about to bankrupt your team. You got too much dip on your chip.
I saw it somewhere, and I'll try to find the graphic, but he's getting paid more a year than like 6 MLB teams can afford to pay their entire roster.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Again, like I said, and I'm not one to count this man's money. I mean, if you can get $700 million, get it. If you can get $800, I just honestly, like, this will affect us, the fan, because there's a bunch of games, they'll be on TV, but you already see it. Cable's through the roof.
Yes.
And I mean,
streaming, all of
the people that made this deal, they're not gonna feel it. Those stands are. Guess what? You're gonna go where you used to go to a game. And whatever, a game's going to cost you $100, $150. You know what I'm saying?
To sit upstairs.
Hell, you can't even park for free now to go to these places. Like, it's getting to the point where, like, we're pricing ourselves out of everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like somebody's not going to be happy until we're not going to games and stadiums and watching these things, like, because, again, you just can't afford it. I mean, these contracts are getting out of hand, and the owners are not biting that bullet. They're just passing that down to us. Yeah. And we're so desperate to be entertained. We're like, oh, okay, well,
I guess that's how much it costs.
I mean, I guess I'll drink a $20 beer. I'm like, and that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Shitty beer too. It's not good beer. But here's the teams that he's going to get paid more than. He's going to get paid more than the Guardians, the Marlins, the Royals, the Brewers, the Reds, the Pirates, the Orioles, and the Oakland A's. More than their entire team's salaries. You will get paid more.
I went to a Royals game, and they should have paid me to go watch that.
They should have given you your Amazon gift card on the way out. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you.
They played the Braves, and I'm not trying to talk bad because, like, I knew a few of the guys that was on the team, but I mean, in the first inning, bro, like Atlanta hit like 3 home runs. I was like. And I'm like looking at the manager like, bro, your pitcher's done. Like, and they just wouldn't do anything. And I was just like, this is horrible. Like, I couldn't imagine God, like imagine again. I said again. Oh, you work your life to go to the pros and you get to Kansas City. Like, oh shit! Like this.
Fuck.
And my name's not Bo Jackson.
Like, oh wow, this is.
Yeah, that's not good.
You know,
that is not good.
That's where like it was like 100 people there. It was so bad. It was bad.
It was you and your closest friends.
It was me and the people from the UFC. We were like cheering them on, and then like 20 Atlanta fans. It was bad, bro. It was.
Oh, my goodness. Switching gears over to college football, Jayden Daniels, LSU quarterback, takes home the Heisman Trophy. Tate, I know this is kind of more in your arena. You watch a little bit of college football. What did you think about Jayden Daniels this year?
I didn't watch enough football because to me the Heisman is the best player in college football. Right?
Should be.
That's what they're saying. Like, how can this kid be considered the best player when his team is not going to the playoffs?
Like,
and they struggled.
Good. Yeah.
So, again, I don't know what they were watching. I mean, congratulations to him. I'm never going to be like, no, but college football, I feel like this year for some reason, and just as years has passed, they just missed a lot. Like you take the playoff. Should Florida State have been in it? I can see yes, but I can also see why not.
Yeah.
I felt Georgia should be complaining, but then again, you can't have two SEC teams in it. And then, like Washington, I don't feel like Washington played a lot of good people. They played Oregon twice. I don't feel like they were in a conference where,
Well, at one point their conference was killing, and Georgia tested to that. Like at one point, the Pac-12 had like 4 or 5 of the Pac-12 was like top 15.
And then week 5 happened.
Yeah,
and
like they all fell apart around the same time.
It was all based on Colorado. Like if Colorado did really well this year, then everyone would. That's actually kind of a really spicy take. Somebody from the Pac-12 would have won it had Colorado kept being in the mix and make the Pac-12 look bigger than what it is. But they were average.
So, again, I feel like Washington, I think Florida State more than Washington should have been in there because Washington doesn't have a defense. And they didn't play a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? Because I felt like the Pac-12 was down. The big names like USC, now don't get me wrong, they beat people, but there was a lot of games they were in that were very close that you were like, wait a minute, you shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah.
So I also feel like Alabama and Georgia kind of knew the winner going to the playoff, the loser's not. So I see that, but then you bring back Texas, and it's like, well, Texas beat Alabama and Tuscaloosa. So if you put Alabama in, you got to put Texas in.
Yeah.
So I get that too, and then I just feel like then you get this kid as the Heisman, and I'm like, LSU football wasn't even entertaining this year. Like, they got murdered by Florida State on national television. Like, what?
They did.
Like, I'm saying, so I'm like, how do you justify giving this kid the Heisman?
Well, George, go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage because we do have a little bit. I mean, we got he's him.
$50 touchdowns is fucking crazy.
Against who?
SEC competition.
Stop it. Stop. We're not listening.
I mean, well, okay, wait. Before you go, Tate. Now, the child did have almost he had like 5,000 total yards, 50 touchdowns. That is still, I don't care where you're playing. That's
garbage.
You are putting up some numbers.
I'm not mad. I'm not telling you that. Like,
yeah.
I don't. But first of all, your conversation, the SEC. Who in the SEC is really good?
You just said 2 teams from the SEC would make it.
No,
if they
that's not
if
what
they
I said.
should have done it correctly.
What I said was you can't have 2 teams from the SEC in the championship.
But they should have.
No,
again,
I don't think so.
You can't have 2, but Georgia hasn't lost in 2 years. They're the defending national title.
Correct.
They lose to Alabama, who always plays each other title. So I get, like I'm saying,
3 points, yeah.
So again, what I'm telling you is when you talk about the SEC, you got Bama, you got Georgia, Texas. I'm just throwing that out to let y'all know, Texas, SEC. But LSU was down. I mean, you take your Kentuckys. We thought they were going to be something, and then they folded. Yep. So I'm like,
Tennessee wasn't back
was
this
there.
year.
So like, let's stop with let's stop just because the champion always comes from the SEC.
Yeah.
Giving the SEC the props like they're the toughest conference
every year, every season.
Just like I don't think Michigan, the Big Ten to me is not. It's Ohio State and Michigan. Like,
do you think Michigan gets fucking steamrolled like I think they will? I think Alabama beats them by 30.
Wow, do you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not think when you were watching Michigan. So I'm known from the UFC. Like you can see it. And if I'm a fighter and I see their reaction to us getting in the playoffs, I'm already like, yo, 20. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Like, I'm not,
That's fair.
I'm already like, oh, we 20. Like,
that's fair.
They just spied us 20 points because they really, instead of them like, yeah, bring on Bama.
Yeah, they were like I'm
a Texas
Alabama.
fan. I text all my people from Bama. Like, we want Bama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, you got to be watching. Like, we want Bama. But again, like, to watch Michigan see that Alabama got in and to see that response. And it was like, hey, you guys are on TV. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's so true.
They forgot to hold up the cue card.
Yeah, like, I would have loved for nobody to be there and just really, because they were just like, it was a couple of shits throughout that thing. Like, you know.
That's true.
But so, like I said, as far as going into that, I think Alabama, I won't say they got them by 30.
Wow, that's true. I forgot about that part of it. Yeah,
I think Michigan is a very well-coached team. But again, SEC football is different, man. And I say that because I hear I'm on one hand saying, well, everybody wants to say the SEC is all that. I'm sorry. SEC Bama, SEC Georgia is different football. So when I start saying SEC football, I'm talking about your Georgias and your Bamas. I'm not talking about Tennessee, down LSU.
I think obviously the cream of the crop is Georgia, Bama, LSU, Florida, Auburn. Those four. No, now LSU and Auburn have been down over the last few years, but can we both say that they've been good over the last decade?
No. Again,
you know what I'm saying?
So
like I would put those four above obviously a Kentucky or
I would even say Tennessee,
Ole Miss,
but
you
also like,
you know what I'm saying?
I want to say like Vanderbilt's in the SEC.
Yeah, and they're trash.
Missouri's in the SEC.
They're also usually trash.
The SEC has, because it's so big, there's a lot of bad teams in the SEC.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
You know, so like when you look at it and you start talking about it, that's where I'm like, listen, when I'm talking SEC football, I'm talking about Georgia, I'm talking about Alabama.
That's it.
You know,
that's the list.
Like, let's cut it's the same thing when you talk about the Big 12. You're talking about Oklahoma and you're not talking about Texas.
Yeah.
But, you know, the ACC, Florida State, Clemson. Like these other teams, every once in a while they come up and they what?
Hey, you better check the tone. You better remember them Canes.
Listen,
Canes coming back.
I'm right with you, Tate. I'm right with. Hey,
you Canes can't get out of y'all own way.
That's fair.
The Canes can't.
That's fair.
Y'all, no team has done
you guys
more with less.
live in the fucking 90s like the UNLV basketball team. You guys are just fucking stuck.
Like,
I hate you both. Both of you. I hate you both.
Ed Reed and Ray Lewis are not coming back to say it. Like, I'm sorry. Like
Sean's not being resurrected to come back.
I get it at the time. Terrible. At the time, like, yeah, everybody wanted to be a Cane, but it's the same thing. Even now, as we talk about football, like Texas going to the SEC is gonna hurt Alabama. It's gonna hurt Florida.
Yep.
It's gonna hurt them because now
recruiting in the same pool.
That was the whole thing. That's what was crazy when A&M went. You brought these people in, but like, and I'm not, again, like, I know Nick Saban is great and all that, but now these kids are sold on you playing in the best conference. You're going to be on TV. Mm-hmm. You know, you got a shot to go to the NFL. Texas has more money than most of these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
And you're playing right next to home so your parents can come watch you.
Yeah.
So, like, as you can see it, it's going to be hard for Alabama to contend with,
Continue.
Yeah. And Georgia, because these kids are, hell, a lot of these kids are flipping that went to Alabama and Georgia. They're coming back to Texas. Like that receiver, he was at Georgia. He's back home. And Texas, he had like breakout, what's his name, number 5? Something Mitchell.
Canes, that's all I got.
Yeah.
I don't be watching everybody all the time.
Like I said, I feel like, this is going to happen. I wish they would just get rid of conferences altogether and just be like, listen.
Yep.
we're gonna start just like the NFL. Like you're gonna have these
have
schedules
just divisions, or
because
I think George, did we talk about that before? Like maybe making divisions and just separating the country.
We'll keep it real fucking
regions.
simple. East, West, North, South.
Yeah,
and teams got to fill it out. They'll be uneven. I mean, there's so many teams on the East and stuff that like.
I'm not talking about every team because there's too many college teams, but I'm talking about
the best ones.
Your teams
right?
are always in the top 25, top 30.
Yeah, maybe you make it like a
50,
top 50.
Yeah, the 50
top
best
50,
schools.
and then we
and
25, 25, 25.
Yeah, and
like
you know what I'm saying? And you basically, those schools, they duke it out.
Because I'm sad to see the Pac-12 go.
Yeah, no, I think we all are. We all are.
Because now you got those teams and those matchups and like the rivalries and stuff like that, the Stanfords and all that. But I mean, I understand why it's going away. But like, I'll be honest with you, watching Washington and Oregon play, like it was kind of like, oh man, like this is
the last one.
The Pac-12 is going. Then you got a bunch of teams coming into Texas that's playing in the Big 12 next year, and it's like, who's gonna fly across the country for this crap?
That's the part that frustrates me. But moving before we get into NBA, I did want to ask you. You know, UFC 297 is coming up, and that's going to be out here in Vegas. Do you still get excited for big cards? I know we're not going to, we don't talk about fighters too much with you and different things, but just being a fan of the sport and being involved in the sport, do you get excited? Man,
I just get excited when on Saturday you're about to have a fight. Like I love the sport game. I love the UFC. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's always tough going from a show on the road to the Apex.
Okay.
But
what's tough about that?
Because like the fans, like I feel like fans are definitely meant to watch the sport. So like I love the crowds. I think I love that energy. The Apex, they do allow fans, but it's smaller. But it's not like, you know what I'm saying, the roars and all that. So the Apex still kind of reminds you of like COVID days and stuff like that.
Okay. But it still gives that feel off.
Yeah, just without the match. It's still fun, but I still enjoy it because the guys still show up and perform. And, it's exciting.
Yeah.
But I just love the fight game, man, because I'm going to be honest with you. I love when the big names show up and definitely impress and do what they're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But I also love on that first fight, those guys go out there and there's nobody in there except just their families. You can still hear the coaches coaching each other. And those guys go out there and, I mean, they go to war and the canvas is covered in blood. Yeah. You're like, this is going to be a good night. You know what I'm saying? It's something about those guys setting the tone.
Okay.
So, like, even, like, the guys that are first ones on the fight, like, take that spot just as serious as the main event, bro. You set the tone. Like, it's something when those guys come in there and see that blood in the canvas and they're like, bro, like,
it's a night. It's a fight night.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like you guys come in there and the guys on the undercard, it's like y'all set the tone, bro. Like y'all are there like to get us going. And like when you do, and then it's kind of like you ever see it where you'll see like a fight, it's like, man, yeah, and then all of a sudden the fight after that, it's like, man, bring it. Like that's what I challenge those new guys to. Hey, bro, like listen, you want them to be talking about your fights on the main event. Like, man, them dudes in the beginning were like killing. Like, we like the main.
That was the best part. That was the best part of the fight. That was the best part of the card.
Did you see them two guys go at it? Who are they? I don't know. Some people they just found. Like, but that's what I challenge. Anybody's getting in that cage, bro. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. I want to see the championship fights. I want to see those names. I want to see those people that they built. But, man, I want to see, like, it's something about when they show that canvas in the back and you're wrapping hands and those guys are like, what the fuck happened to that? Like, bro, they were in there killing each other today. Like, it puts those pressures on those guys, like those headlines like, yo, bro, like, y'all better perform. Like, these dudes were sitting here, and you never want a show where people are walking out like, man, the undercard was better than like, damn. You know?
1,000%.
So that's the thing, like, you'll hear that sometimes. Like, I've been to some fights where the girls went at it, bro, and people were like, man, the girl fight was better than that.
That's true. That's true.
Again, like I said, that's
Joanna and Weili.
Dude,
that fight still to this day is like, good Lord, them girls were trying to kill each other. And
so that's what I say, like, but like for me, just knowing there's an event, bro, like the whole anticipation flying out Friday, getting there, going to the weigh-ins.
Where's your of everywhere that you've been in the world? Where do you always say I love coming here? Because you've been everywhere. You've hit every continent at this point, right?
Yeah, I've been to majority of them. Everything, I take everything different. Everything is exciting on everything. Like I love MMA fans. So like I love the football. I love football fans. I love like when you go places and you have a cowboy hat on and the fans
Boo, Cowboys.
Say whatever. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't all be good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a bottom and a top. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a bottom and a top. My bad. We can't all be Washington fans.
Oh, here we go. You didn't even mention my sad death shroud of Chase Young on my back. This is now added to the relics of former players.
Y'all have done so much. Y'all have done so little with so much. But
I know you not talking.
No, I'm being serious. Like y'all had
better.
Chase Young. You had two top first-round pick DNs. Nobody heard from them. They're gone now. They're not even on your team. Gone.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I'm just saying. One Super Bowl, Doug Williams. That's all y'all got.
Whoa. 3.
Yeah, I only know about one. That's how bad y'all are.
Oh, see.
And that's the Redskins. We can't even talk about that. That's racist. We're talking about the Commanders. Is that what they're called now? The Commanders? The Commodores?
The C words.
Not the Commodores. You better.
What do y'all call now?
That's all right. We're gonna be the Wolves soon. I'm still keeping that train going.
Yeah, you can be that. Okay, but no, so my favorite place, I mean, when you ask me that, man, that's like asking a parent to pick which kid they like the most.
No, shoot. You asked me where I love to go in the world. Paris, New York.
Yeah, but not for the fact. Like
Brazil was nice.
So you take Brazil, right?
Yeah.
Rio, Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo is different.
Yes, it is.
You know, I mean, you were there.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
When
Rio's there.
Rio
I've
was
been
crazy.
to Sao Paulo
So then Canada, like Canada's a great place. Some places in America, like I love Nashville. Fighting in Nashville is man, it's so fun. The fans
See, that's news. Like,
but
people don't know.
I love Austin.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't like the city, New York, but I love the MSG. I like fighting in the MSG.
You don't like going to New York?
I hate New York.
Why?
Too many people. Like I don't like that whole.
Oh, you don't like that. See,
I love
that
traffic. Oh, I gotta decide between walking 8 blocks and taking a car. Oh, walk 2 miles to get there quicker. Like I'm not a big fan of New York. But like I said, I mean, so I love Canada. Like I love Montreal. It's fun. The fans just make this sport, and like when you see them and they're energetic. I mean, so it's. I loved Austin. Austin was amazing. The fights were great. I love Dallas, Houston, like anywhere in Texas. Like I'm from Texas, so. But my favorite place, if I want to get like there, would be Toronto, because that's the first show I ever worked as a UFC cut man.
All right, there we go. Sentimental.
Yeah, like Toronto.
No one ever could touch
that. Was
first.
where GSP fought Jake Shields and the Blue Jays. It was like, so that was like, so Toronto's like special for me, because like that's when I got to put on the little black shirt. I was like, oh, I didn't get to go to the cage, didn't get to do nothing.
Oh,
but
okay.
But it started, like it was a process. So like that was the first time like I actually had a hotel in my name from the UFC.
Yeah. Had
on the black shirt, and then that's when it was like, so Toronto will always be special to me.
There it is. Switching gears over to the NBA, the in-season play-in tournament has ended, and of course, the second I saw my pick, the Bucks, go down, I knew the fix was in. The Los Angeles Lakers take home the first NBA Cup, the in-season tournament. Tate, did you think this was going to happen?
I don't even know what this in-season tournament thing was about or what they did it for.
Well, okay.
I just know Michael Jordan will never have one.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to hear about this GOAT status, because LeBron has something that Michael will never get, or Kobe. Dub him the GOAT.
Here we go.
Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. George, what did you think? What did you think about the play-in?
You called
this shit. The Lakers.
I called this. Are you kidding me? LeBron's the only person in the NBA that cared about this. Like, you could, even the way he talked about it in the presser, he's like, he answered one of the questions. He's like, that 500,000 though, you know, that means a lot to me.
Oh my God.
And all the guys. And I'm like, sure it does, LeBron.
Sure it does, LeBron.
Sure that 500,000 means a lot to
you. Go hating on LBJ. Listen, he's a competitor. He's the ultimate competitor, If they say there's a title in it, he wants it, and he went after it, and he got it.
Yes, and that's why I bet him and the Cowboys yesterday in a parlay and made a good amount of money.
Nice work.
I was shocked by the Cowboys. I'm not going to lie to you.
We're going to get there. We'll get there.
No, but I mean, LeBron cared more than anybody. They blew them out. Did you see Swaggy P's Instagram live after they beat the Pelicans?
I talked to him. I talked to him yesterday, and I was like,
that was so funny.
Nigga, I knew the fix was in the second. He's like, yeah, once the Celtics went down. He's like, once the Celtics went down, and then I was like, yeah, and then the Bucks. I was like, there's no way that the NBA isn't going to allow this to happen. I already knew where it was.
Why are y'all like this?
No,
so y'all think that the NBA conspired to have this man win?
No. I don't think it was conspired. I just think it was I think it was the Vegas flu. I'm going to be honest. Just like how it's the Miami flu. What is a 150? Swaggy P kept saying a 150. He's like, they went to Vegas and they got some 150s. So I'm like,
dang, I had to ask him. That's his corner boy swag that he talks about on there. I'll have to ask him.
Okay. I just hate when, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say hate, but that shit just irks me when, like, oh, Alabama and Texas got in because they bought. Who did they pay? And in this day and age, if somebody on the committee got a large sum of money with social media and how nosy everybody's is, they would know about it. Like, it's like, oh, they paid them to do this. Like, they did not pay them. I'm telling you, they just read the rules and they said, if you lose a factor in your team that can change the outcome, we're not going to put you in the playoffs. They didn't go, Texas did not secretly go, hey, committee people, here's a couple of million if y'all put us in. Trust me, in this day and age, everybody would know that. They would stalk these people. Oh, such and such just got bought. Like, oh, how convenient. Listen, it happened. LeBron, I do think what you said is true. I think LeBron took it more serious than anybody else
a lot
did.
of other people.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, I will say this. The one thing I will say now, and I was talking to my parents and my brother about this over the weekend, you got to remember now, man, with the leagues being directly in bed with gambling now, because remember that was never hey, look, listen, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying certain times, like, okay, can we both attest to certain games where it's like that ended a little funny? Does that ever happen where you're like, that ended a little funny?
I will agree, the spread thing, like when I look at a team and they're like, oh, this team is only going to win by this, I'm like, but I will also say analytics, and there's people in this gambling world, like everybody's seen Casino.
Yeah.
Okay, Frank Rothstein, that's what he did. He
was a real person.
He
lefty.
He ate, he slept, he watched, he did everything. So if you take somebody in the gambling world where you got billions on the line and they're paying, say, 100 people to study this stuff, then that's why you have that.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the layperson, you and me, just sitting here with both opinions like, oh, man, this team, Michigan should lose by 30. Well, there's somebody going, okay, they're playing on this thing. The win is here. This guy does this. It's supposed to be this much moisture in the air. This guy doesn't play well after 3 p.m. Okay, his girlfriend just broke up with him. Jim Harbaugh's going to, like,
there's a lot of factors.
Everybody, and these gambling people are doing that.
Yeah, no, they are. And I'll say this, and then we can get off it. The one thing that I can say that the NBA does control is what refs referee games. And certain refs call games a certain way, or certain refs can have a propensity to make certain calls in certain situations.
Which
that
goes
can
into the factor of blowouts and
but you know what I'm saying? So like, if the ref, because okay, we can talk about, just going back to the Lakers versus the Kings, right? Way back when the refs decide to just foul someone out or get 3 early fouls on someone where it's like they could have let most of these go, that changes a game completely. I don't care how you spin it.
And again, I hear
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not debating that, but I'm also going to tell you this. We live in an age now where it's information.
Yes.
And it's so much information that if a ref does that, everybody's going to look at that. Like, you got people that are gathering so much information. This guy has a quick whistle. This guy does this. This guy does that. Even to the point where now that guy, if he does that, he's getting questioned. why did you get this guy these 3 fouls, but then you didn't do this? And I don't feel like people want to be scrutinized, and I also don't feel like people can stand up to the scrutiny of something like that.
Yeah.
Like, well, why'd you foul this guy out? Not in today's age. Now, I get back in the day, but like in today's now, I just don't.
That's fair.
I don't
that's
feel
fair.
like, I definitely think, yeah, there's some quirky stuff going on, but I just don't think it is as blatantly as we like to sit down, the layperson be like, yeah, they bought these guys off.
Yeah.
Like, dude, could you imagine imagine a guy ref in the NBA final and then going and cashing a check for $750,000 at a casino. Like, everybody would know that.
Yeah.
So
that's fair. That's fair. Now, George, what did you like about the play-in tournament and what did you not like?
I like the fact that I won money. I didn't like the fact that nobody knew about it and nobody cared until they were all in Vegas. I don't know. I think this is going to be a tournament that's always won by a veteran that's like trying to like
say he did something.
Yeah. You know, he's got all summer to fucking heal up and just like go hard for 3 months. And then I won the in-season tournament, so like I'm more important now. But it doesn't matter. We have to still remember, like, this does not matter.
Yeah.
And
the in-season tournament is like the NIT tournament.
Yeah, not the NIT. Oh my God,
you guys are terrible.
You just congratulations.
I'm playing in the NIT.
I guess I'll say this. I did like that it did make more competitive games in the beginning part of the season. I guess what I didn't like is that we still don't understand certain things. Like, for instance, you know, the Lakers played the Pacers. So now does that mean later in the season, are they going to kill a game where they would have played each other because they're kind of moving things around? I think they've got to explain a little bit more about, because like I didn't realize that they stopped having games for a moment and they flew guys to certain parts of the country to play each other. So it's like, okay, that's cool, but they got to do better at explaining all of that.
Right, explain it, and then what's the benefit? I get that these guys got money, but like, does it give them an extra home court game?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like an all-star game. Remember like certain teams, like the NFL All-Star game, the guys are like, what are we doing this for?
Yeah, the Pro Bowl, yeah.
Like, so then it's like flag football. Like, if we just going out here to have a fun time. So it's like I know in baseball, the All-Star game, the winner gets like, one of the teams decides on who gets home field advantage.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the NBA All-Star game does. But like, if you're going to have the tournament, make it worth something. Because again, one, LeBron winning it kind of gives it credibility because you want a superstar like that to win it.
Sure.
So you want that, right? You definitely want somebody like the Lakers to win it. You want a team because in all, you want to build up and legitimize it. So do
you now, and see, that was one of the things that I did like was that a team like the Pacers, where no one was thinking anything about the Pacers before the season, had they had won that against the Lakers, and then their team has never won a title. So, like, for those fans, what that actually could mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we've never actually won anything.
No,
now we can say even though it doesn't matter.
No, because you got the assholes like us to be like, oh, you won the NIT. Like, nobody gives a fuck about the NIT champion.
Shoot,
who's the last year's NIT champion?
Wait. Who's
Creighton?
Creighton. Don't you be bashing the Big East again. Who's your basketball team, Tate?
So me, I'm anything Texas. So I like the Spurs. I like the Spurs. I like the Magic. I mean, no, I'm sorry, the Mavericks, and I like the Rockets. I used to love the Rockets when they had the dream.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'll be honest, because there's so much LeBron James hate, I'm a huge LeBron James fan. Like, I mean, I don't, and I really do, man. I dislike when it's like, I got to shit on Michael Jordan because I like LeBron James. I don't like that. Like, I like they're both great. Like, you know, I love Michael. I got to see him. I love LeBron James. I love what LeBron James has done. I like what he's doing. I mean, and that's the thing that kind of like frustrates me, like where you get into this, MJ's the GOAT. Like you're watching a man and play basketball for 20 plus years at this level. You know, I just was watching where Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce got into it.
Yeah, they did get into it. Yeah,
and like, you know, for Kevin Garnett to defend LeBron, knowing that situation, but he's right. Like, I mean, LeBron James at this stage in his career is still one of the top players in the league.
Yeah. No, and I liked, to your point, I liked how KG was like, listen, Michael's the GOAT, But what LeBron is doing to say that LeBron's not a top 5 player in the league is you hating. And even in me not caring for him, I'm not crazy enough to be like, he's not still doing what he does.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's like, let's just be real.
And again, I love, like, I argue with my friend Tony Villani all the time about, because he's huge, like, Michael Jordan fan. I'm like, listen, I'm not taking away from Michael. Michael was extraordinary, man. He won 6 championships. He did it. These guys came in wanting to be the next Mike.
Yeah.
But to sit here and watch what LeBron James is doing, and then, like I say this again, I know this is going to start an argument when people watch this. I think there's better athletes now than when Michael Jordan played. I feel
overall.
I feel like it's harder to win a chip now than it was, say, when there was a Michael Jordan.
Do you think so?
Yes. Hell, man, anybody in the league right now can bust your ass for 30 points. Anybody.
Yeah.
Like, the league is so competitive that, dude, anybody can be a superstar. Like, these guys are, don't get me wrong, they're playing role players, but, like, any given night, these guys can do some shit, and you're like, wow.
Now, I guess the only retort that I can give to you on that is there's a lot more freedom now. Whereas, like, a guy, before could have done the same things, but a lot more, like, there wasn't as much, the freedom of play wasn't the same.
I understand
You know
that.
what I'm
I
saying?
definitely I see where you're going with that. There was an offense-driven league.
Yeah.
But if you look at, as far as superstars go, and I'm talking about superstars.
There's only like 3 or 4, truthfully.
True, but when you look at the players, like, you got your superstars, but, like, when you look at certain teams, man, those guys are on there balling.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like I said, I'm not telling you, like, Michael didn't have it. Like, when Michael played, you knew about the Celtics, you knew about the Lakers, you knew about the Pistons.
The Knicks.
Yeah. But there's several more teams in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, like I said, I just hate the comparison because it's 2 different eras.
Definitely.
Like, I'm friends with a lot of guys. So my boy's like a little brother, Carl, right? I'm a huge Lawrence Taylor fan.
Okay.
I mean, I love LT. Like, I'm just even listening to him like, man, I didn't even know what I was playing. I drove by, the lights was on. I'm like, oh, shit, we got a game. I love the Lawrence Taylor. I love it. So I'm talking to Carl, and I'm like, man, like, you need to be like this guy. Look at this dude. This dude was – and he's like, he's a defensive end. And he's like – and I can see he's not impressed. And I'm like, man, it's fucking Lawrence Taylor. Like, look, do you understand this guy? I'm like, they built the West Coast offense because, like, this dude was unstoppable. And I'm looking at him, and he looks at me and goes, he would get fucked up in today's NFL. And I'm like, that's fucking Lawrence Taylor. He's like, bro, he's like a left tackle would whoop his ass right now in today's NFL. And I say that, dude, I'm just telling you what these guys, I'm telling you, every player that you talk to in the NFL says only maybe Deion Sanders and Barry Sanders could play in today's NFL.
Man, listen.
That's what I'm saying. But I say that to say this.
That's so frustrating to even hear because today's game is so much. It's nowhere near as physical.
So I say that the same thing about the basketball.
You know what I mean?
You have a Michael Jordan coming down, going up against these guys like the Greek Freak and what's old boy in Memphis that got
Ja.
Bro, like, these kids are doing stuff that's like, so to keep here and just disqualify somebody like LeBron, and LeBron's played through all these eras. Like, he's been in 2 decades balling. Like, and I think that I saw it on Instagram the other day, man. Like, they showed a clip of all the superstars he's played against. And I'm like, man, how can y'all, like, look at this and be like, yeah, MJ's still a GOAT. Like, okay, I'm not, how many times has MJ lost in or never? Listen, the competition back then was not the same as it is now. You can sit there and smile like you say. Again, it wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same.
Top to bottom, I would say I would say the teams today, top to bottom, aren't as good as the teams then. Top to bottom.
I disagree.
Because I'll say this, because like
they're bigger, stronger, faster than they were back then.
Shoot. I'll pull up a picture of Nate Thurman and I'll make you daggone calm yourself down.
Bro, listen, don't get me wrong. I was there. I saw Karl Malone.
Yeah.
But Draymond is no slouch. The Greek Freak is no slouch.
If you think Karl Malone and Draymond Green can walk into the same gym ever in your life.
Man, get this dude. That's exactly what the name of the show is, a fan. Bro, you have no facts.
It's the truth.
Bro, I'm not listening to me. I hear what you're saying. I'm just telling you, bigger, stronger, faster.
I just saw Draymond Green going flail his legs out 2 minutes ago.
Every sport, the athletes have gotten better, except for in basketball. Only in basketball does the athletes not gotten better.
No. I won't. No, that's not what I'm saying.
I have these conversations all the time at barbershops.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I can't attest to. Me and my brother were talking about this yesterday when we were talking about his son. Like, we know so much more now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Both in terms of how to train. Like, his son, like, is like, hey, bro, like, is he on a plyo regiment right now? Because, like, we know how to become a 50-inch vertical.
And so much film is watched.
Like Jordan and those guys were just, Dominique was just naturally, he could get up off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Whereas now, like, you actually literally can build that. Like, if me and you really wanted to start dunking, if we really, really wanted to again, we could get in the gym and do X, Y, and Z, and you would be back about close to the rim.
Man, the dunk is great, but I watch people just shoot the lights out of the gym.
But shooting, shooting. Think about it now. Like I could have a gun. You know what I mean? The shooting machine, and just perfect my shot.
I think players
so many more things.
I'm not taking from MJ. I think he would rise. I think he would definitely. But I think these guys would go at his ass, and I think they would go at MJ and really try to do some stuff. I think, man, like I said again.
I wish we could know. I guess we'll never know.
Man, but again, like I said, we sit here. I do not like the tearing down of one. If you go,
that's
if you
fair.
say to me, MJ's the GOAT,
Cool.
he is. I think LeBron's the GOAT, and it should stop. It shouldn't. Man, listen. You have your opinion, I have my opinion, and we'll go with that. Like, I don't feel like
some people could mess around and say Kareem for real. You really think about it, like he always gets left out. And that
Lou
man,
Alcindor was the man.
That man won freaking, what was it, 3 or 4 national championships in college, and then won another 6 titles in the NBA.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like Wilt Chamberlain, all these guys.
Yeah,
I hate when they start bringing the record. Michael got 6'5".
Yeah.
Russell, how many did he have?
Had 11 or 12. Like, he had more rings than he had fingers. But
and that's what pissed me off, because as soon as you bring that up, well, he played in the era. Well, wait a minute, we're talking about the ring. Like, how do you want to shape this argument?
I guess my thing, my biggest thing on this, and I wish we didn't have to keep talking about this as much, but my biggest thing on it really is the impact. And Jordan was something totally different, I think. And I think that's kind of the thing that no one else is going to really be, because he came up in an era, he came up in a time that things were expanding. Like, the NBA was down and coming up.
You can't say that.
You know what I mean?
LeBron James has been playing for 20 years at the highest level.
And what's your favorite LeBron shoe?
I don't even wear LeBron James.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, just little stuff. Like, stuff like that.
I don't wear Jordans either.
Well, okay, but what's your favorite Jordan?
I don't have one.
Pick one.
I don't have. If you want to know my favorite shoe, was Charles Barkley's them Air Maxes.
Okay.
So again, like I said, I'm not a Jordan hater.
Yeah.
But he was great. I'm not taking anything from him, but I'm like, you're like, oh, Jordan was just different. LeBron James has been playing for 20 years.
No, he's different. I'm not gonna say he's not.
And again, I can take this back to football. Like, there's nothing better than winning a championship. But it's also something to say about the Buffalo Bills going to 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yes, 1,000%.
LeBron James went to how many finals? I mean, and he's a great team player. So, like, some of those finals he didn't win in, it was just him. He went up against a better team because it's a team sport. So like I said again, I hate the comparison, because anybody that's a great athlete, anybody, man, those kids, I know, because you've been around a ton of athletes, they're putting in a lot of amount of work. Like, there's no lucky champions. You know what I'm saying? Like, champions are just built different. Take Jamal. Yeah. I tease him and joke with him. He's different. Yeah. He's special. Yeah. It's something about him that makes him
different. Yeah.
So to sit there and be like, oh, well, George's just built different. Well, so the fuck is the Greek Freak. Yeah. So is Shaquille O'Neal. Like, they're different. They're special for a reason. Yeah. So to just, like, do you know what it takes to fucking 20 years? And it's not so much the game It's the preparation for the game. If you talk to any professional athlete, they fucking quit playing sports because they don't want to go through training camp.
They don't want to do the little things.
Hey,
anymore.
I don't want to keep fucking working out like this to play this game.
No.
It's not the game. To imagine doing that for 20 plus years.
No, listen, my brother did it for 9. Well, 10 really. But and injuries, you know what I'm saying? Like all of it all adds up. Look, to even have the love for it, because watching how much practice and different things that he had to go through, that's when I was like, I ain't gonna go to the league, because I didn't. You know what I mean? I loved it. I loved ball, but I didn't love it to the point where it's like, do you love it so much that you're gonna wake up when you don't want to wake up?
Exactly.
You love it so much that you're going to do these things. And to do that now, 20 years plus however many years it was before that, he's probably pushing 30 years now in the sport.
Bro,
like,
I bet you his knees just... can you imagine him on a plane just...
rubbing?
just
rubbing his knees.
Just driving a car, man. Hell, I'm 46, man. I sit in the car too long. My ass start to ache. My hamstrings get all sore. I couldn't imagine... just LeBron waking up in the morning. I don't care. Oh, my God, his shoulder hurts. He's just, and he's still out there giving you 25 and an extra flat. Yeah. I mean, so, again, like, my thing is, hey, you want Michael to be the GOAT? Cool. You know, but we don't have to tear brothers down to make this one. I mean, there's enough room for both of them being up there.
That's fair. All right. Well, that we didn't mean for that to go so long. George, before we get out, did you have any thoughts on week 14 in the NFL?
Week 14 of the NFL. Let's see.
Fucking Vikings scored 3 points.
Yeah, that was the worst football game in the history of football.
It was not, but it was pretty bad. It's up there.
I parlayed so much shit with the Lakers winning the title. Every parlay I put in was with Lakers winning the title. So, like, I had the Raiders just needed to score a touchdown, 2 field goals. They are so bad. I don't understand. Like, this
do you keep Pierce? Do you get rid of Pierce and bring in a new coach, or do you keep him?
I would. You're going to get rid of him. Yeah. Like, listen, Rich Bisaccia took the Raiders to the playoffs the year that fucking all hell broke loose, and they fired his ass. You know what I mean?
They need to stop doing that, though, because he should have stayed.
I just feel like, man, you can't give a guy a can of green beans and tell him to make you a steak. Like, I'm sorry, dude. You don't have shit for this. You don't even have shit to evaluate this guy if he's a good coach.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like,
I mean, you don't.
They're gonna clear it out. They already know.
But that shit ain't working either. You're just gonna bring another person in here that doesn't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Everybody in here is guilty of looking for an apartment or getting ready to buy something, and you go on the line and you look at this shit, and you're like, oh, I like this. And then you have no idea you're in a fucked up neighborhood. Like, you
didn't see it at nighttime.
You need to keep somebody in here that knows the exact shit that they're dealing with and can address it. Because somebody's going to come in here like, oh, we got this guy. And they're like, no, I'm out of here. Fuck this. Like, no.
Too late.
So I like him. But the topics that I want to talk about, one, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Bills.
Yes.
Dude, that fucking receiver. I don't even.
Oh,
is he really that dumb? Or is he? I mean, like, I don't get it. Like, what is his deal?
I don't understand how Patrick Mahomes defended him. Like, bro, watch the film. Like, he was a fucking clearly offsides, Pat. Like, relax.
Go out there and be like, this guy's a fucking knucklehead, and I wish we wouldn't have him on our team. Like, you.
I thought that's what was honestly happening on the sideline. When you saw Patrick yelling, tell me you didn't think it was that.
No, I mean, he would never do that. I think he was pissed. He's not saying that the guy was offsides. He's just saying
to make that call in that situation.
Pat's just saying what the fuck. Like, we clearly had a pass interference. So y'all know sports. Like in basketball, the last 30 seconds they put their whistles in their pocket. So it's the same thing. He's like, bro, at this time, at this thing, you just don't make these bullshit calls.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not gonna make an egregious pass interference the week before. Yeah. So and then Von Miller was offsides too.
Yes, he was. Yep. Yes, he was.
So it's like, wait a minute.
Yes, he was.
So I get that, but then I'm like, damn, dude, you line up off sides and your receiver is just no, like.
Because tell me, we've all played football. The referee says, Back 19, back up.
If you ask him, if you go over there and don't say nothing,
you got to ask him. That's the thing. You never see receivers checking with the line.
He was in the slot. He was in the slot. So usually those guys, they usually look over at the because remember that's what happened to me in my game.
But if you're on the ball, that's your job. Like, but
I just think this kid's a dumbass. Like, they said the same thing in New York. That's why they got rid of him. Like, he's.
Listen,
he can't get right. He's just a guy that just doesn't get it.
The way my phone lit up from Giants fans laughing after that play,
I heard
it was crazy. That's why I had to post about it on the story, because it was like I got texts from like 15 different Giants fans, all laughing like at the same time. Like, this is why we got rid of him. It's like,
so what did he do in New York? The reason they wanted to get rid of him?
He just kept being hurt.
Okay.
It wasn't like he really did anything. He just never really, he just couldn't get right. Like you said, he would play well for a minute, then he would get hurt.
I just remember the first game, man, he dropped everything. But that's the thing. Kudos to Pat Mahomes for being a professional, man. Like, to not throw that receiving core under the bus.
Oh, I would, dude.
He should.
Bro, I'd have been like, I'd have went Mike Singletary. Can't win with him. Can't compete with him. Don't want him. Like, but he's the ultimate pro, and he's, like I said, he definitely took the brunt of it. I mean, even remember that guy dropped that for sure game-winning touchdown?
Valdez-Scantling,
He was like, I could have threw it back in. Pat, shut up. We all know what you're trying to do here. Like,
he got both hands on it, didn't lay out. Like, it's like, bro, Pat, that wasn't your fault.
You know, let me answer that question. Yeah, he fucked up.
He looked like a kid in middle school. He's like, hold me back, guys. Hold me back real quick. Referee, that was terrible. You know, that was bullshit.
There's nothing worse than getting mad and nobody taking you serious.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait, Pat.
Pat's mad. Hey, come Pat. Hey. Somebody was holding back with one arm. He had the Cookie Monster voice. It was like, that's terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Then he cleans it up in the thing. He's just like, man, you just Hall of Fame tight end makes a great play. I just hope they don't, take it away. And I was just like, man, you lost. Like,
that play, I will say, before they took it away,
TK threw a strike.
Man, that play was glorious.
TK threw a strike. I was like, oh, you got to pick that flag up just because.
Just because of the
Hey, you know what? Vaughn was offsides. He was. You know what? Hey.
Yeah.
But the ball's on the ref to make that call, though.
In KC too.
I stand on business. Hey, now that's something the fans should investigate. Who paid him? He was like, no, I stand on business. Offsides. Hey, the worst part is when he did it. It was like, offense offside?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could make that call, bro. I thought it was called false start.
Yeah, no, he didn't false start. He was just lined up offside.
Can you do a stat? How many times has that call ever been made?
It happened to me last season. That's what I was saying. That's what cost the Redskins versus the Giants last year.
They said it's been called 11 times this year. And it was, but this is the most it's ever been called this year in the last like 20 years.
And I promise you, this one was the biggest call that they'd ever had.
Because here's the thing: blow the fucking play dead. You know what I mean? Like, he's offside, boom, play's dead.
I think that's
what I mean?
what Pat Mahomes was pissed off about too. He was
like, don't let the play go on. Don't let the greatest play ever in NFL history happen.
Yeah, that's
bro.
It. Well, listen,
Kadarius Toney dropping that would have been hilarious too. Can you imagine if it was a double?
But then did you see them show him acting a fool because he didn't get the ball? Like, if you watch the entirety of that play, Travis gets the ball, and he's pissed. He's, like, throwing his hands up like, I don't know if he was, like, mad or something, but he was, like, clearly upset. And then he gets the ball, and he scores a touchdown. And it was just like, oh, interesting. Okay.
It's karma. He must have kicked the dog earlier in the week or something. Dog.
Hey, what's the bets on he will not be a Chiefs receiver next year?
I would say next week. He's probably on the fucking chopping block, bro. He's done,
bro. He is interesting to say the least. And my Cowboys won. I stand on. I don't like Dak. He will let us down when we most depend on it. But I figured they was gonna. I mean, I was shocked that the Cowboys won. I ain't gonna lie. I'm actually shocked that they played as well as they did.
Well, you know what? What I will say is this, and we talked about this last week. The Eagles had been kind of playing this role of, oh, we can come back, and they hadn't really been playing good football for some months.
Something's going on there. Something's off. I don't know if they've gotten too many injuries, but they just don't look like the Eagles, the powerhouse that they used to be.
I'm
not saying that they can't get it fixed, and I'm not saying they won't get it fixed. I mean, I'm happy that the Cowboys won. Please don't at me about Dak Prescott. I still stand on he's garbage. I'm not taking that back. Even if he was to win the Super Bowl, I would still be like, trade him for a couple first-round picks. I'm just not a Dak fan. Like even
if you won the Super Bowl,
dude, I cannot stand that. Even when he's like on the sideline and he's like trying to rah-rah the team, I just want to be the guy, man, sit your dumb ass down. like I cannot take Dak shit. I'm like, bro, sit your ass up. You just fumbled the ball, dummy. Like, how do you not, after being in the league this long, still not understand to take care of the ball?
Yeah.
Like, and then, like, he's still doing that jump throw, throwing the ball into the dirt. Now, that tight end, I did not see him. He's nice. I don't know where he came from. I don't know what school he came from, but whoever found that guy.
They need a raise.
I love that guy. And then, what's the little running back?
Tony Pollard.
No, not him.
Dowdle. Rico.
No, the other one that's doing that.
Deuce Vaughn.
Somebody needs to be fired for wasting our draft pick on that.
It was his dad. Did you see it was his dad?
He needs to be gone. Like, that was a waste of a draft pick. Like, I'm like, dude, you dude ain't even active. Waste of a draft pick. Boo, get out of here. Every time he touched the ball, do you see when he catches the ball and they hit him? His little ass goes flying. I'm like, damn. But yeah, I thought that was funny. They mentioned him last night. He was inactive. I'm like, duh. Okay. But no, I mean, I think the NFL's going to be interesting. I
don't know who's going to win this year.
I don't. Like,
I have no idea.
And that's a great feel. That's the best thing about it is like not knowing. I know the Detroit Lions have become the Detroit Lions we know and trust.
Oh.
Yeah.
Washington still.
They laid an egg.
Washington still vying for the number one pick.
No. I don't
The
want the
Saints can make the playoffs. Saints could host a playoff game. How crazy is that?
The Broncos might need win the division.
That's nuts.
They said the Broncos, if they win tonight, I think they're tied or they might be leading.
No,
the
they
division.
won. They won yesterday.
So they're leading the division, right?
No, I don't think so.
I think they're one game back.
I think they're still behind, but they
have the tiebreaker.
It's tightening. I will say that.
And they play KC in like the next 2 weeks.
That's going to be interesting.
That'll be for the division.
That's going to be a whole lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
A lot more interesting than the Raiders and the Vikings.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Both of y'all fan bases deserve better. That's horrible. 3 points.
Before we get out, I did want to say R.I.P. to the architect of the Music City Miracle, Mr. Frank Wycheck. Also played he started with the Redskins, then finished out with the Titans. George, go ahead and roll that clip of the Music City Miracle.
In what has been a magical season to this point. If they do, they need it now. Christie kicks it high and short. Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson.
He's got something.
30,
He's got
40,
something.
50,
He's got it.
40,
He's got it.
20, 10.
He's got it.
End zone. Touchdown Titans.
Offsides.
Ah, you beat me to it. Shit.
It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle. Titans have a miracle left in the
So what are they gonna call the Kansas City one?
Oh, shoot. The
Darius
false
Tony's
start.
funeral.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's still tragic. But RIP to Frank Wycheck. Thank you so much again, Tate. Tate was only supposed to be in here for 20 minutes. Tate ended up rolling the whole show.
Man, I appreciate it. I love doing this, man. I love talking about sports. Again, my opinion only. Please don't at me or be like, "Oh, he said this," and do not quote me because I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's great. That's great.
Tate, we're going to have lunch again soon, man. I always appreciate you coming in. I know George appreciates you coming in.
I love to eat.
You know what I'm saying? We'll get together. But thank you guys so much again for tuning in to another episode of the American Fan 365. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe. Please make sure you go follow Cutman Tate if you haven't before.
Listen. Get this man popular. Everybody got a damn podcast. People got podcasts with 5 followers. Let's make this man blow up, please, so like he can be happy and be known. Okay, so like y'all send in what y'all need us to do to make this man show pop. I've already recommended a couple of female talents. You know, any of you takers, let us know. And you don't have to say much. Just be in the background. That's what we need to make the show better.
All right, guys. See you guys next time.